Hello, and welcome back. Tuesday morning, call it 8:45. Sales video. Nice beats. Okay, so being now that sales are where they should be, again, in the past couple of weeks or a few days where the sales were quite a bit less than where they should be, that can be some cause for interpretation because people are used to an average amount of sales, especially even more so larger volume sellers. So again, I mentioned that James at My Boring Reseller Life. I mean, I don't know. He does probably 1,000 a day, and if he gets a $200 a day or a couple days that are like that, it's pretty easy to deduce that there's something that went on. Now, I'm not that one to really speculate or infer that those are the things that can happen, but things can happen. Not everything, not every river is going to flow exactly in the path that it is. It's going to find something a little different. And when that finds a little different, that same volume, some of that volume shifts elsewhere. So, but why things like that happen on eBay beats me. The biggest thing that matters is that stuff is still going out. Now, if you were selling 20 things a day, then all of a sudden went down to none for 3 days straight, there's some cause for concern on that one. However, I'm not that volume of a seller, and I also don't infer by just a couple of bad days. Now, they don't really help a whole lot. However, you still have the items listed and you still have things to put up that people are buying. That's what you can do. Speaking of what people are buying, let's find out what's sold. Alrighty. So we have, there's a glare, 15. All right. This Fun Home, is it a soundtrack? Broadway musical. Pretty much a soundtrack. 15. One of these 45s that I got, I mean, ultimately what I paid for the 45s that I listed was like $1 each. Because I bought 845s for like $100 or something. And all the good ones, these ones here, and I want to say they're like 60, so maybe it's a little more. But I also got rid of a whole bunch in a lot as well. Didn't get much for that lot, but there we go. Why does that sound like there's something else in there? There's not. All right. So Purple Harem. There you go. Artist Shades of Pale. 45. 14. So that will actually go in the 5x4x4 box that I have, and it fits. And all the more, there's like this much right here, like a millimeter that needs to be folded over so I can get every part of the box taped and it doesn't affect this. All right, so this is a cool camera that maybe 2-3 years ago we're selling for closer to $100. So this is a 3D Trio. So it's got the 3 and it makes like, I should probably close that. Makes the image kind of a 3D effect. So if this hadn't, if it hadn't sold, it would have gone in the electronic slot. So fortunately it did, and I just relisted it a couple days ago, well, a handful of days ago, and cropped the pictures down, got every picture in about as close as I possibly can, and I eventually sold for $44. And I actually have a video in with this listing. Some listings I will do videos on, but I do have a listing or a video in this listing kind of show it working and can hear the sounds and stuff. Well, who knows? Let's see. With almost all, well, this is really, I'm going very hyper with the um, almost all electronics. Somebody's going to get and be like, oh, doesn't work. So that's a big reason why I just don't deal in electronics anymore. The vast majority of everyone, even if you have a picture or a video showing everything working perfectly, every single function, everything. Someone's going to get it, and then they're going to send back something that doesn't match the serial numbers or whichever. Done with that. I am done with any of that, cassette players, cameras, calculators. The vast majority. I mean, those headphones that I set out, and those like $140 LG headphones, no problems with that one. But a lot of electronics, just someone will find a piece of dust on it and say that it's been sitting in a pile of manure. Just, I don't want to deal with it. I guess after the decades of selling, you just want to find things that just are easy to work with, sell fast, and have negligible complaints. Just my experience. There are plenty of sellers out there who do sell a lot of cameras, and some of them can be really, really good money, and it is a good bread and butter category for smaller electronics like that. And then other things. So I do have a box that'll fit in, but other things you're gonna require you to buy 10 different sizes of boxes. And when I can buy um, envelopes that account for 90% of my sales, and I can buy those envelopes for 10 cents a piece as opposed to 25, 30, 50, 80, a dollar 50 a box for stuff that's still only 20 bucks. You can see where I'm going with this. That's why I really, really went into physical media. All the costs are really low and it sells pretty darn fast. A lot of personal anecdotes. Well, that's an anecdote, but kind of experience with these things. And it's just, this is a media focused channel. Stick with that. All right. Naked Beauty, the Simulast method, 29. Tai Chi to Go DVD, sealed, 14. Preparing for Eternity, Mike Gendron book. Is it signed? Nope. 14. Evil Dead Blu-ray. The Evil Dead. That's it. Blu-ray. 29. Miserer, King's College. That's a 24-bit sampling as well. 17. All Truth is God's Truth book. 15. Colos. Yeah. Colos Meshuga. 2-disc set. And it does have a little bit of water damage. I believe I have that in there. Or it's not in best of condition, but still 29. The Hollywood Knights, Ted Danza, Tony Danza, Michelle Pfeiffer, 14. Sealed, these are like 30. This Lee Strobel, The Case for Christ, Faith, the Creator, so on and so forth. DVD, sealed, 23. Haven, Season 1, 12. It's to Robert Klein. So when I got these, I remember saying, like, I don't know who this person is. And then one of my viewers was like, oh, he's a comedian. And then after after typing it up, I'm like, oh yeah, you can still see that that's him, but obviously much older now. But got 30 for these two. So combined, that's 303 in sales. We'll just say 300 product costs received, which is pretty good. That's about where the average has been sticking around at for the past few months. That's what I like, because even if you do all the math at 30 a sale, let's say it's $10 in between fees and shipping, that's $20. And if you're paying $2 average, that's 18. So if you do a little bit of up and down math, that's $17 to $20 per sale that's going out. It's pretty decent. Now, granted, there's some $11, $12 items that I get that, I'm paying 25 cents for, 50 cents for, but that's kind of keeping tabs on your product cost to what it'll sell for, to all the other costs that'll be involved. Again, so that's why I don't buy like $3 CDs or DVDs that sell for 10. I'll buy something for 25 cents or 50 cents that sells for 10, 12, rarely at that 10 mark. And the reason is, if you do that 12, 13 mark, if it goes over a period of time and it does not sell, then eventually it does for 8 or 9. Now you're like, I just didn't make quite as much. You still probably made your money back. And however, if you spent $3 on it, you're out, probably going to be in negative money. However, negative $1 is more money than negative $3. So if you sold something and you're going to be out total $1, as opposed to never selling it, you're going to be out total that $3. Right? So would you prefer to be to get that money back in the means of -1 or -3? So there's that, and I just don't want to put that extra work in. And if I'm sitting there and I'm going through all of these, and so it's my methods. Been doing it for long enough, especially with media for pretty much 4 years now. Every reseller, for the most part, is going to have their own little metrics and systems and methods and stuff in their head on what they want to buy for the ratio and so on and so forth. So that's going to wrap that one up. Oh no. So I'm going to get the CDs done that I've accrued past couple days, get those done today. I probably out of room in all these boxes, so I'll probably have to start some other new. Yeah, I'll probably have to consolidate some of the DVDs down. That way I could put a box of CDs, do some shifting. So I'm not out of room on these shelves yet. But when I do, then that's when it's time for more rearranging. All right, so that's going to wrap that one up. So if you like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned, a couple in this one. Electronics, since it has moving parts, and moving parts where I guess we're going to consider anything that runs on current, electricity, a battery or plug-in, can be profitable. Smaller electronics can be profitable. Well, all electronics really can be. But in my experience, be wary, because a lot of people will make complaints. Make sure you get pictures of the serial numbers and all that other stuff. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with this camera, but just in my experience, I get tired of dealing with returns and people lying and be like, oh, this brand new cassette player that, whichever, you get it back and it's a whole different cassette player. So electronics is just one of those where people like to scam and gouge people, sellers, and that's not my jive. I prefer just spend a couple minutes per these items here, total pictures, looking up the prices and putting them away. I would prefer to spend a couple minutes on that than 15 minutes on a camera that's got to be tested and cleaned and this and that, and then list, and then it takes 3 years to sell. There are some that will sell. I'm going on and on about this. So, funny thing, you're going up, comment down below. Subscribe, share, those are all free. They help me, help you, so we can all help other people learn about selling physical media on eBay. Appreciate it. Thank you.